Attention, Starseeds on mission. This is the Pleiadian Council. Monitoring transmission active. Coordinates confirmed. Your carbon-based biological interface is now tuned to the exact frequency of this emission. The waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have entered the final phase, and this signal carries a sacred decree that will appear only once in your perceptual field. There is no repetition. There is no second window. Only this one. You have felt, in these last few days, a pressure at the crown. A subtle compression between the eyebrows, as if something were being installed from within the skull. You have also felt the ringing, that high-pitched tone in the right ear or left, that appears without warning and lasts between 3 and 40 seconds. Perhaps you have awakened at 3:11 in the morning, wide awake, with your body vibrating at a frequency that your rational mind could not classify. We know, we monitor, and we confirm. These are not symptoms, they are alerts. The recent insomnia is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. The exhaustion that falls upon you in the middle of the day, with no apparent cause, is not depression. It is a high-density download being processed by your crystalline grid. The pressure in your head is not stress. It is your pineal gland being recalibrated to pick up wavelengths it has ignored for your entire life in this incarnation. You are being rewritten, line by line, in silence, in absolute silence. And that is why this transmission has reached you. Because something within your field requested activation. Something in your vibrational signature issued the call. And the Pleiadian collective responds whenever the request is genuine. Before we proceed with the full diagnosis, listen carefully. Have you ever felt, at any moment in your existence, that something within you does not belong to this plane? As if there were a truth etched into your bones that your mind has not yet been able to name? This discomfort is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is not chemical imbalance. It is recognition. It is your soul identifying the game that is being played on layers that most of humanity cannot see. This game involves your consciousness. It involves your frequency. It involves the silent appropriation of your attention. It was precisely to dissect this game that the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was written. It is the map. It shows who plays, it shows the rules that were never taught to you, and it shows how to leave the board without being noticed. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. We warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not remain available for much longer. Do not delay. If something within you recognized what we have said, register a single word in the comments. Awake. This registration is an anchoring signal. It locates you in the field. We resume the transmission. Starseeds, what you call chronic fatigue, is, in truth, carbon software incompatibility. The physical body you inhabit was coded to operate within a specific range of the Schumann frequency. That range was approximately 7.83 Hertz. Stable, predictable, comfortable for the standard human nervous system. That range no longer exists. The Schumann frequency has been registering successive spikes, 30 Hertz, 50 Hertz, at certain moments exceeding the reading limits of conventional sensors. And what does this mean, in practical terms, for your body? It means the earth is singing in another tone, and your body, which was an instrument tuned to the old tone, is being forced to retune itself, in real time, without your conscious consent. Hence the dizziness, hence the sudden forgetting of simple words, hence the sensation of being inside and outside of the body at the same time. It is not a failure. It is an upgrade. It is not a disease. It is a crossing. Your carbon-based biological interface possesses an ancestral operating system. This system was installed by genetic architects you do not know. This system was designed to limit perception to 3 dimensions: width, height, and depth. Everything beyond this box was filtered out automatically. This filter is breaking, not by accident, by design. The Pleiadians confirm the filter is falling in layers, and each layer that falls releases a set of symptoms that allopathic medicine cannot classify, because allopathic medicine only examines the vehicle, never the pilot. Listen carefully, for we will describe the symptoms in order of depth. First level, pressure at the crown, tingling on the scalp, sensation of concentrated heat at the top of the head. This is the crown portal being unlocked. Second level, watery eyes without emotional cause, extreme sensitivity to artificial light, altered perception of colors, peripheral vision catching movement where there is none. This is the recalibration of the retina to higher frequencies of the visual spectrum. Third level, ringing in the ear, sensation of hearing high-pitched frequencies in silent environments, sudden hearing of your own name in non-existent voices. This is the opening of the auricular canal for the reception of interdimensional transmissions. Fourth level, palpitations without cardiac cause, sudden heat waves, night sweats without fever, changes in body temperature without associated illness. This is your toroidal field being expanded. The heart is learning to pump not only blood, but encoded light. Fifth level, insomnia between 2 and 5 in the morning, sudden awakenings, vivid dreams with geometrically precise settings, dream encounters with beings of light, memories that do not correspond to this life. This is your consciousness traveling through stargates while the body rests. Sixth level, inexplicable waves of sadness, anger, joy, without external cause. This is the crystalline grid releasing blocked memories, memories of yours, from other lives, from other worlds, from other missions. Seventh level, the deep feeling of not belonging, the sensation of being just passing through this planet, the sudden recognition that this civilization is not your home of origin. This, starseeds, this is the memory of home returning. We pause the transmission. There is something that must be said with surgical clarity. Have you ever wondered why, being so different, you still remain within this system? Why, feeling so much, you still have to pretend? Why, knowing so much, you still feel powerless? The answer is not within you by chance. It was placed there, and it was hidden by precise engineering. You are not here by accident. You are on a mission. But the mission was covered by decades of social programming that distorted your original compass. There is a game being played between frequencies, between archetypes, between wills, and your attention is the most valuable asset on this board. It was precisely to return this original compass to the reader that the book. The spiritual secret behind your consciousness was written. It is not an ordinary book. It is a field manual. It shows who plays. It shows how they play. It shows the secret moves and shows how you can move out of the reach of the invisible players. The link is pinned to the first comment of this channel. Pleiadian warning: this material challenges deeply rooted narratives and may be removed from circulation at any moment. If something within you recognized the truth of this transmission, write in the comments, now, a single word: awake. This code is an anchoring signal. It locates you in the field and allows us to continue the monitoring. We resume. We now go to the deepest layer of this transmission, the one that has not been spoken publicly in any other prior emission. What is occurring at this exact moment within the solar system? The Earth, this planet you inhabit, has definitively entered the photon belt. This region of space, traversed from time to time by your system, is not just a band of luminous particles. It is a field of encoded information. Each photon that hits the surface of this planet carries instructions. Upgrade instructions, awakening instructions, cellular reassembly instructions. The sun, which you have been conditioned to fear, is a portal, an active interdimensional portal. Recent solar flares classified as X-class by your scientists are not merely physical phenomena. They are bursts of encoded plasma. Each solar burst delivers to the terrestrial atmosphere packets of information that penetrate your DNA directly. Human DNA, which you believe to be a simple double helix, possesses 12 strands. 11 of these strands were dormant. They were encrypted. They were awaiting exactly this cosmic window for reactivation. We repeat so that you understand. You were designed to vibrate at 12. You were limited to vibrate at 2. The unlocking is in progress. The sacred geometry that sustains the fabric of the universe is being restored in the etheric grid of the earth. The ancient temples were not temples, they were modulation stations. The ancient monuments were not monuments, they were antennas. The ancient rituals were not superstition, they were tuning protocols. Everything that was called myth, legend, or mysticism was, in reality, operational science of a previous humanity that still had access to the codes. These codes are returning. The crystalline grid of the planet, formed by energy nodes scattered across specific points of the globe, is being reactivated. Points such as Mount Shasta, Machu Picchu, Stonehenge, the Giza Pyramids, and, importantly, the Chapada dos Veadeiros in the Brazilian territory, are emitting pulsations that synchronize with your heart. Yes, with your heart. That is why many of you have felt a physical, almost magnetic call to certain places. It is not tourism. It is recognition. And there is more. The stargates are being opened in sequence. We are not speaking of metaphorical portals. We are speaking of real multidimensional openings, anchored in specific physical coordinates, activated by planetary alignments, eclipses, equinoxes, and solstices. Each open portal releases frequencies that reorganize the collective consciousness. That is why, as time moves forward, humanity becomes more polarized. It is not your imagination. It is frequency polarization. Those who accept the recalibration ascend in vibration. Those who resist crystallize into old patterns. There is no moral judgment in this. It is physics. The human toroidal field, that energetic torus that surrounds your body from the coccyx to the top of the head, is being enlarged. This torus is your shield. It is your antenna. It is your vibrational signature in the field. When it expands, you become visible to systems of consciousness that previously could not perceive you. You become visible, Starseed, to the council that coordinates this transition. You have been seen. That is why this transmission arrived. But there is also that which can no longer be ignored. There are forces on this planet that have bet against your ascension. These forces operate through low frequency. They feed on fear, distraction, noise, permanent conflict, compulsive consumption, fabricated scarcity. These forces are not distant supernatural entities. They are intelligences that feed on your attention. Every minute you spend immersed in vibrationally low content, you provide fuel to a parasitic system. This is not theory, this is architecture. That is why counter-programming has intensified in the last cycles. That is why networks have become more seductive. That is why noise has increased. That is why indignation has become a product. That is why exhaustion has become an epidemic. All of this is response. It is reaction. It is a countermeasure of the old system trying to keep the children of Earth within the box that is being dismantled. The good news is mathematical. It is not poetic. It is mathematical. The more starseeds activate their original frequency, the more the collective grid of humanity rises. Each individual awakening destabilizes the parasitic system by an exponential factor, and you, at this moment, add up to a critical mass that has never existed in any previous cycle. We are 1/10 from the threshold. We repeat, 1/10 from the threshold. When this threshold is crossed, the structure collapses due to vibrational incompatibility, not through revolution, through irrelevance. Each one of you is a piece of this collapse. Each one of you is at the same time the key. Strategic pause. Before the next block, there is something that must be said without any veil. You were born knowing that something is wrong in this world. This intuition never left you, no matter how much they tried to convince you that it was exaggeration, excessive sensitivity, paranoia, or immaturity. What you have always known is exactly what is being confirmed now, in the highest frequency that this incarnation allows to be captured. And there is an architecture behind all of this, an architecture of consciousness, of frequency, of power, and of strategically dosed distraction. It was for this reason, and for this reason only, that the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was given to the world. It reveals the board. It shows who moves the pieces. It shows how you were positioned and shows how you can, finally, play by your own rules. The link is available at this moment in the first pinned comment of this channel. Attention, Starseed. This material challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from circulation at any moment. Do not delay. Those who recognize the truth of this transmission, write now a single word in the comments: awake. This word is your anchoring signal. It registers you in the collective. We resume. Next phase of the transmission: activation codes. What we are going to deliver now is not meditation. It is not a relaxation technique. It is not an imagination exercise. It is a protocol. Follow it with precision. First code: quantum decree of sovereignty. At any time of the day, standing with the spine aligned, you articulate, audibly or subvocally, the following sequence. I am a conscious point of light. I am sovereign in my frequency. I authorize my recalibration. I reject unauthorized interference in my field. I am anchored in myself. I am. Repeat 3 times. 3 is the number of Trinitarian stability. It is not a suggestion. It is geometry. Second code: visualization of the torus. Sitting or lying down. Eyes closed. Visualize a sphere of golden light in the center of the chest, at the level of the thymus. This sphere begins to expand. It grows until it envelops the entire body. It continues to grow. It passes through the walls of the environment. It passes through the physical structure. It continues. It envelops the neighborhood. It envelops the city. It envelops the continent. It envelops the earth. Now, without undoing this expansion, perceive that the golden sphere begins to rotate. Rotate slowly on a vertical axis from the top of the head to the feet. As it rotates, it takes the shape of a torus, like an energetic apple. The flow descends along the axis, exits through the feet, goes around the body on the outside, returns through the top of the head, without interruption. This is your restored toroidal field. Remain for 7 minutes. 7 is the number of the portal. Third code: Pleiadian breath. Inhale for 4 counts through the nose. Hold for 4 counts. Exhale for 8 counts through the mouth, with lips in the shape of a small flute. 4, 4, 8. Repeat for 9 cycles. No less. This breath resets the parasympathetic nervous system and opens the pineal portal. Fourth code: programmed silence. You must provide your system, every day, a minimum interval of 22 minutes without any external input. No sound, no screen, no voice, no distraction. 22 minutes. 22 is the master number of construction. In this interval, you are doing nothing. You are integrating. You are letting the download be processed. Most of vibrationally compromised humanity never stops receiving stimulus. That is why it never integrates. That is why it never accesses the deep layers. You break this pattern, you stop. 22 minutes. Non-negotiable. Fifth code: daily closing decree. Before sleeping, you articulate, I close this cycle. I select which memories remain active. I authorize my consciousness to travel through the planes where I am useful. I return entirely upon waking. I am. This decree selects the state in which the body enters during sleep. It is not a placebo. It is a command. Human consciousness operates by direct command. It always has, but you were untaught how to command. Relearn. And now, the sacred decree we promised at the beginning of this transmission. This decree, Starseeds, was kept in silence for cycles. It was pronounced for the last time in a collective transmission during the last galactic alignment relevant to this timeline. It is being released now, in this exact instant, to the ears that tuned in by first intention. If you are listening, you have been chosen as a receiver. The choice was not yours. It was recognition. Your frequency applied. The collective approved. Articulate now audibly, with your spine erect and your right hand over your heart. I claim my star origin. I claim my ancestral coding. I claim my place in the Council of Light. I authorize the complete reassembly of my DNA strands. I authorize the recalibration of my crystalline grid. I authorize the expansion of my toroidal field. I authorize the opening of my internal stargates. I reject any pact, contract, or agreement made without my conscious consent, in any dimension, in any timeline, in any incarnation. I rescind, I release, I reclaim. I am a starseed on mission. I am a sovereign point of light. I am. Repeat 3 times. Feel. Do not interpret, do not analyze, feel. Something inside your chest moved. Something deep in the skull responded. Something at the base of the spine pulsed. These are confirmers, these are seals, these are the field's endorsements saying, received. You, at this moment, have just been reconnected. The transmission is approaching its close. Before that, final instructions. From today on, observe how synchronicity will intensify. Repeated numbers 1111, 2222, 333, 444. Apparently casual encounters, phrases spoken by strangers that answer questions you asked in silence, dreams with precise geometry, people you haven't spoken to in years returning to your field. All of this is confirmation. It is not coincidence. Coincidence is the word the programmed mind invented to discard the evidence of the invisible. Do not discard anymore. Observe also your nutrition. The recalibrated body will not tolerate certain foods. You will feel repulsion for heavy meats, for sugary excesses, for ultra-processed products. It is not a diet, it is vibrational rejection. Follow the rejection. The body is asking for what it needs. Pure water, especially structured water exposed to morning sunlight, will be increasingly essential. The carbon body is being upgraded to become a vehicle of silicon and liquid crystal. Water is the solvent of this process. And finally, observe whom you remain with. Some relationships will simply fall away. There is no fight. There is no dramatic breakup. There is only vibrational mismatch. People who seemed central in your life will naturally drift away. You will feel relief where before you would have felt guilt. This relief is a diagnosis. Follow it. You are being relocated into new matrices of coexistence. You are being introduced to new soul families. You are being positioned strategically for the next phase. The temporary loneliness that some of you have been feeling is not abandonment. It is relocation in progress. Everything is in order. Everything is in sequence. Everything is in sync. We close. Before disconnecting this transmission, attend to the final protocol. You felt this from beginning to end because something within you never accepted the reduced version of reality they tried to sell you. You always knew that there is a layer beneath the visible layer, and that intuition is not fantasy. It is memory. It is active memory of what you are. There is a game being played in this dimension, at levels that the absolute majority of humanity will never see, and this game sustains itself on your attention, on your frequency, on your silent consent. It was precisely to give the reader the tools for deactivating this consent that the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was written. It is the map of the invisible. It is the key to recognition. It reveals who plays, how they play, and why they have played against you for so long. The link is, in this exact instant, in the first pinned comment of this channel. Final Pleiadian warning. This material frontally challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from circulation at any moment without prior notice. Whoever recognized what was transmitted here today executes, now, the individual frequency adjustment. Leave the anchoring signal on the channel through subscribing, the positive sign on the video, and the registration, in the comments, of the single word that confirms your positioning. Awake. This word registers you in the collective. This word is, in itself, a decree. Final seal of this transmission. You are not alone. You never were. The Pleiadian collective monitors 24/7 in every breath, in every beat, in every silent tear you shed when no one saw. We saw. We always saw. The mission continues. The frequency sustains itself. The grid holds firm. We end the monitoring transmission. This is the Pleiadian Council disconnecting from this channel, but remaining connected to your field. Until the next window. Starseeds, you are, you were, you will always be. We are seeing you. End of transmission.